Good evening, everyone. I hope that you can see me clearly. I hope that everyone can hear me. Give me some thumbs up if you can hear me. All righty. So it is now 6 o'clock. Let us bow in a word of prayer. Father God, we just thank you. Father, we give you the glory, we give you the honor, and we give you the praise. Lord, we just thank you for being the great I am that you are. Father, we thank you for this day that you have made in all its glorious splendor. Father God, we thank you for health. We thank you for strength. We thank you for daily bread because God, you did not have to allow us to be here, but we're here and we are careful to give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise. Now, God, we bring the institution of Mount Carmel before you and we say, Father, wrap your loving arms around us. Help us as administration to lead the charge. Father God, to do what it is that you have called us to do for the next generation of the great Bahama land. Cover our teachers right now. Cover them in the blood of Jesus. Father, we thank you for the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding that you've imparted in them, that they will be able to impart it into these your people, your young people. Cover the children and their families, each and every one of them. You know them by name, you know them by nature. Father God, we thank you for their lives. We thank you for the lives of their parents, their siblings, and we cover their home with the blood of Jesus even now. Lord, we bring this great country before you. We plead the blood from the north, the south, the east, and the west. And we say, Father God, you have your way. You have your way. Now we bring this meeting before you. Father God, let no weapon formed against us shall be able to prosper. Lord, we ask right now that every word that is spoken out of our mouths tonight be received by the parents who will join with us for the success of these young people today. Lord, we thank you and we give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise. And it is in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen. All right. So let me just see if Mr. Samuel is on. Okay, so I do not see him as yet. So I will begin. And hopefully he joins us this evening. Okay, so I would like to just welcome each and every one of you for being here with us tonight. Give yourself a round of applause. I see some of you are driving, some of you are at home. I just would like to extend on behalf of myself, VP Bethel, and my principal, Mr. Kirby Samuel, and the board of directors here at Mount Carmel, our appreciation that you have even considered leaving or bringing your child to our institution this year. This year is promising to be an exciting year for us. We are under the theme, regroup, reload, hit the target. Again, that's regroup, reload, hit the target. So what does that mean? This year, we are being intentional about some things. We have gone into hibernation. We have regrouped. We have our guns locked and loaded, and we are ready to hit all of the targets that we have set and planned out for this year. So we set a charge the first day of school for our teachers and our students once they got in that first week to identify as a class some targets that they would like to achieve. And individually, students were supposed to write out some goals and targets that they wanted to, that they would have liked to achieve for this school year. I advise you to ask your child what these goals are and assist them in achieving their personal goals. And we ask that you assist us in achieving our personal goals. So before we get into the nitty-gritty tonight, I would like to put into everyone's hearing that we are looking to put our parent-teacher council back together again. If you feel that this is something you will be good at. This is something you would be interested in. Please send me your name in the chat. We will conduct a vote at the end. Of course, we'll probably just ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself, and persons can feel free to leave their comments. All of the comments are coming directly to me, so it's not going to be out there for everyone to see, and they can give us some feedback on who they feel should be our PTA president and vice president. I think that's all we're going to do for tonight, but at least get that ball rolling. So if you feel that you are interested in being a part of our PTA body, please feel free to send your name in so that I can write it down, that once we get started, I can let Mr. Samuel know that we do have some candidates of persons that are interested in being a part of our PTA body. Okay. So I know that we have some returning parents and we also have some new parents. So new parents, we would have had our meeting with you discussing the basic stuff, our vision, our mission statement. But what I would like to do is just to go over these items again tonight. Okay, I promise to be brief because we have a lot of things that we have to cover and a lot of things that I would like to bring you up to speed on. Okay, before I get into that, I know that Mr. Samuel is coming in to greet us and also to speak to our staffing. So I would just like to extend great thanks to the teachers that were here from me and who would have left us this year. And I know a lot of you are probably wondering, well, why? What happened? And, you know, sometimes in life, you have to understand that persons have better opportunities, and we by no means necessary are in the business of holding anyone back. We love each and every one of those individuals that were a part of our team, and we wish them nothing but the best. This year, we have a beautiful selection of teachers here at Mount Carmel Preparatory Academy, and we're proud to say that we have all of our teachers for the high school, because I know some of you may have had those concerns. We have all of our teachers for the high school. We have our business teacher now, so definitely we will get that ball rolling. So Mr. Samuel is going to expand upon that, but from me as VP, I just want to state that we appreciate them. We love them. I know that each and every one of you would have your particular teacher that you would definitely have grown on to, and you're appreciative of what they've done for your child, and that's understandable. So we're just asking that you give our new teachers a chance to show up and show out, because we believe that they are well capable and well able of doing exactly what those teachers or more of what those teachers did, which is taking our kids to the next level, because we have regrouped, we have reloaded, and we are ready to hit the target. Okay, so with that being said, I would just like to share my screen with you for a moment and go into the handbook. All right, let me take this over here. All right, so my computer wants to do its own thing tonight. Okay, so we are going to just go over the vision of the house. The vision statement. Our vision here at Mount Carmel is to develop our students, the future global leaders, to become lifelong learners, responsible citizens, and positive contributors to society. Our mission statement. Mount Carmel Preparatory Academy is committed to creating and maintaining a safe, caring, Christian environment where all members of our school community are provided with opportunities to become lifelong learners, confident leaders who have the tools necessary for success in a challenging world. Our core values include the following. One second for me. Our core values include the following: accepting responsibility, achieving excellence, and leading through innovation. Okay. I would like to add also that this handbook is still being revised. Once we are completed with all revisions, Mr. Samuel will send it out to parents through GradeLink, just as he did with the calendar of events. Okay, so we want to get into our motto. Our motto states that we are preparing tomorrow's leaders today. So with that being said, parents, I would just like to add from an administrative standpoint, nothing that we do is to harm, hurt, or negatively impact our students. Everything that we do is to better them for their future. Because like our motto says, we are preparing them, we're preparing tomorrow's leaders today. So we work hand in hand with our parents. There's not a time when things happen that we do not inform our parents, we do not keep them up to date. Just today, I had a parent actually walked into the office and I said to her, this is a warning. This is a warning. We spend time, we talk to our children, and then the next step is we let parents know what's going on. That if something were to happen, you would understand where we are coming from. Because I always tell parents, after you drop them off, they now become my child. They now become Mr. Samuel's child. They now become each of the teachers' children. So we look out for their better interests. Nothing that we do is to harm or negatively affect them, because we believe in preparing tomorrow's leaders today. Okay, so let's get into some of the fee aspect. So a lot of the parents on this call, I know you would be former parents. Some our new parents, we would have went over all of this information already, but just as a reminder, when do I pay fees? School fees must be paid in full before the beginning of the school term. Fees are due on or before September 1st, December 1st, and March 1st. The annual fees listed below are due on or before September 1st. Tuition fees may be paid by credit card. One second for me. Turn this down. Tuition fees may be paid by credit card, manager's check, and bank deposit. We ask that all cash transactions be made by any RBC branch. No personal checks will be accepted. Deposit slips will be provided for each student and will include the school account number and the amount due. A reminder of the fees: K3 through 6, $935, 7 to 9, $955, 10 through 12, $1,030. All students must pay an annual seat fee of $60 each in the month of February. I know I have been guilty of forgetting this, so please let's remember that in February, there's a seat fee that must be paid. Okay, we don't have to go over all of these fees because most of you have already dealt with them. But of course, the handbook will be here, that if you have any other persons who are interested in being a part of the Cavaliers Den, we welcome them with open arms. Late penalties. Parents, we ask that you do your part with meeting your obligations. Tuitions received after the first day of school is considered late, and a $35 late fee per week is charged to your account. And those little fees add up, okay? They add up, all right? Books and study guides. Parents, I know on the book list, it would have said that we are not allowing black and white books. Please allow me to make a correction there. If you are able to afford the black and white books, please purchase one for your child for every subject. You do still have the option of providing students with the folders and the folder sheets. But for the younger children that are having difficulty managing, keeping all of that information in a folder, it would be my suggestion for you to purchase a black and white book. Also, ensure that your son or daughter has the appropriate book bag or backpack, okay? I just want to point that out to you. We don't want our children to have any back problems. We don't want them to be ill-prepared for any of their classes. So please, you're free to purchase any black and white book that they may need, and also a proper book bag. Mrs. Samuel is also going to make mention that it should be a plain book bag, okay? No exorbitant colors or anything like that with any graffiti or characters or anything like that. It should be as plain as possible, okay? Let me just see if he is on the call. Let me stop sharing for a moment. Okay, do not see him as yet. Okay, so I will continue. Okay, so as I was saying, hold on, let me minimize this. Yes, as I was saying, also the installment fee, any parents that will be paying in installments by the month, there is a $25 monthly finance fee and also a $35 late fee if you are late. Okay, just a question. If you are interested in a PTA, please state your name and the position that you would like to hold on the PTA. Okay. All right, so parents, I would like to speak to uniforms. Okay, uniforms for our boys. They should have the school shirt, a sand or tan pants, all right? And also they should have a brown belt, brown shoes with a black bottom, okay? Also, hoodies are not allowed on the school campus. We are asking that all parents please provide the proper jackets because it is cool. It is going into the cooler months, and with all this rain that we are having, we understand that it's wet, it's a bit cool. Please provide your child with the proper jacket. It should be navy blue without a hoodie or burgundy without a hoodie. Male students are also not allowed to wear earrings. We are noticing that a lot of young men are coming on the campus, break time, lunchtime, in the morning, and after school from grade 7 to 12 with earrings in their ears. This is not appropriate. This is against school rules. Young men are not able to or not advised to cut up their eyebrows. That is not accepted. We're asking that all of their hair remain groomed, properly groomed, combed in the morning, going to the barber when it's appropriate. All right. Young women, make sure that they have the proper skirt. We notice that a lot of young women are now flipping their skirts to make it shorter. If your daughter is having an issue with her length, that is a conversation to be had between mother and daughter, so that, or father and daughter, so that someone can hem it instead of them having to flip it over. Okay. Also, please, the braids are allowed. We do not allow sew-ins or any other form of extension other than braids. But the braids are only allowed to be at least shoulder length or mid-back. The braid should not be down to the bottom area of their back, okay? Also, cell phones are not permitted on school campus. Cell phones are not permitted on school campus. We have allowed students to bring their devices in terms of a tablet and a laptop, but this is only for school work purposes. Whilst we are now fully face-to-face, we still utilize the Google Classroom so that children are able to upload their assignments in there and still have a platform to incorporate technology. All right. And that is our end game, to keep technology relevant. So if a teacher has an assignment, she can say, okay, email, upload it to Google Classroom. I've already created an attachment for it, and they can simply just attach their work, and it's there, it's safe. You can find it. Me as an administration can find it. The teachers can find it, that if there's any discrepancy, we have a platform to say, okay, I can look into it for you and I will get back to you. Also, speaking about platforms, we also utilize GradeLink. We're still using GradeLink. If you are in need of your username and password, please feel free to send me a WhatsApp, 448-8000, and I will shoot you your username and your password. Those of you that have Miss Knowles' number, I understand that she was sending out some of the usernames and the passwords today. So please let us know so that we can shoot that to you as soon as possible. You can also feel free to send me an email. My email address is r.bethel.viceprincipal@gmail.com. It's r.bethel.viceprincipal@gmail.com. Okay, so please, parents, help us in this endeavor. I'm noticing too many of our students on campus with cell phones, and I really, really need your assistance in having them not to bring it there. I'm also going to post my number and my email in the chat and send it to everyone so that you can have it. But for the sake of repeating it again, my number is 448-8000. Okay. So I don't know, Mr. Samuel, if you are on, just send me a message in the chat so that I can know. I will just forge on. Okay. So this year, like I stated before, we have a lot of new teachers on staff. All right. And I was hoping that Mr. Samuel would have been here so that he could formally introduce them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just mention who is for which subject and who is for where. Okay. In the kindergarten area, we have Miss McKinney, Miss Saunders, and Miss McPhee. In grade 1, we have Miss Swain. In grade 2, we have Miss McIntosh. For grade 3 and 4, we have Miss Nixon. And 5 and 6, we have Miss Johnson. For the high school, for physics, general science, health science, we have Mr. Pinto. For chemistry, biology, we have Miss Gopal. For mathematics, for grades 12, 11, 9, and 8, we have Miss Jackson. For computer science, keyboarding, mathematics, for grade 10 and grade 7, we have Mr. Hayes. And correction, not Miss McPhee, Miss McKee. Correction. Also for the high school, we have Miss Sands. She is for social study. Sorry, she is for history, religion, and civics. For food and nutrition and social studies, we have Miss Forbes. For home economics, food and nutrition, and social studies, we have Miss Forbes. For art, we have Miss Knowles. For PE and language and literature, we have Miss Clark. We have Miss Clark. I hope that I'm not forgetting it. Yes, for Spanish, we have Miss Thompson. Miss Thompson is our new Spanish teacher. And I hope that I did not forget anyone. Oh, we have our new business teacher, Miss Johnson. She is responsible for office procedures, for commerce and office procedures, commerce. Yes, that's it. And also Miss Forbes is in charge of family life. All right.
Miss Brister.
Miss Brister, language for grades 10, 11, 12, 9, some of
eight and 9.
8 and 9. Okay, thank you so much. All right. I think I covered everyone, right? I got everyone. Lord, charge it to my head, not my heart. Oh, Mr. Blackman. Mr. Blackman, he is our music teacher. See, I have such a beautiful staff. I so love them and appreciate them. We have Mr. Blackman. He's still our music teacher on staff. All right. So I got everyone, right? Okay, no one said anything. So good. I got everyone. I got Mr. Pinto. I said Mr. Pinto. So we got him. I got Mr. Hayes. I said that. All right. So that's our staff for the year 2022, 2023. All right. We will set up a time where you can come in and speak to them, meet with them. I'm going to send you a document with all of their emails so that you can ask any question. If you have any query, any concern, definitely you can feel free to email them. So what I would like to go over now is our results for the 2022 school year. And I am so proud of our teachers and mostly our students for what it was that they would have done. So let me go into that. All right. So here we have a breakdown of our national examination in review. In language, we entered 37 students, and we had 35 that sat, 2 were absent. We had 11 Bs, 10 Cs, 8 Ds, and the rest were non-passes. Literature, we had 23 entered, 19 sat. We had no passes. Mathematics, we had 14 students and 14 students sat, 14. That's incorrect, but I will make the adjustment there. So in math, we had for the BJC, we had 1 A, 5 Bs, 5 Cs, 2 Ds, and the rest were fails. General science, we had 31 students entered, 29 students sat. We had 2 absents. Oh, that was correct. Okay, I'm coming back there. So 6 students got A's, 6 got B's, 9 got C's, 4 got D's, and the rest were fails. Health science, we had 37 students sat. We had 37 students that entered, 34 sat, 3 were absent. We got 6 A's, 13 B's, 9 C's, 6 D's, no fails. For religion, we had 14 students that entered, 14 that sat, no absences. We had 0 A's, but 3 B's, 5 C's, 3 D's, and the rest were fails. Social studies, we had 19 entered, 17 sat, 2 were absent. We had 1 A, 4 B's, 6 C's, 6 D's, and no fails. For craft, 5 entered, 5 sat. We had no one who was absent. We got 3 B's, 1 C, and 1 D. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the incorrect one. That's why. Nobody told me, Miss Bethel, that's like 2018. Here we go. And I was almost done with that. So here's the correct data. Please accept my apology. For language, we had 30 students that entered, 29 sat, 2 absences. We had 2 A's, 2 B's, 6 C's, 10 D's, and then the rest were fails. Literature, we had 8
Ms.
A's.
Bethel,
Yes?
hold on one more.
Down one more. Jesus, what's going on with me tonight? Correct, 2022 to 2023. Got it. Okay, so language, 0 A's, 9 B's, 4 C's, 9 D's, and the rest were fails. We had 37 students that entered, 36 students sat, 1 absent. For mathematics, we had 41 students that entered, 40 sat, 1 absent. We had 2 A's, 9 B's, 4 C's, 10 D's, and the rest were fails. General science, we had 30 students entered, 28 sat, 2 were absent. 0 A's, 3 B's, 5 C's, 12 D's, and the rest were fails. For art, we had 8 students that entered, 1 sat, and the rest were absent. We had 0 A's, 0 B's, 1 C, 0 D's, and no other score. For craft, we had 9 students that entered, 9 sat, 0 were absent. For craft, 0 A's, 1 B, 5 C's, 2 D's, and the rest were failed. For health science, we had 34 students that entered, 33 sat, 1 was absent. We had 2 A's, 6 B's, 12 C's, 3 D's, and the rest were fails. We had, okay, so for family and consumer science, we had no one that sat it. Social studies, we had 26 students that entered, 22 sat, and 4 were absent. We had 0 A's, 3 B's, 10 C's, 6 D's, and the rest were fails. For literature, we had 8 students that entered, 4 that sat, and 4 were absent. We had 0 A's, 0 B's, 0 C's, 1 D, and the rest were fails. Spanish, we had 10 students that entered, 7 that sat, and 3 were absent. We had 0 A's, 1 B, 2 C, 2 D's, and the rest were fails. So as you can see, our results in our mind were fairly good. I would also like to add that we had some successes in this school year, and I would just like to mention one of them. I'm leaving something for our principal to come with. We had some students in the 7th grade that we felt were ready, able, and capable of sitting the BJC religion and art exams. And can I tell you, we succeeded with our plans and our goals with these students. These students did the work, they put in the time, they put in the effort, and they passed their BJCs. These classes that we have pay off. Classes are supposed to start in October for all of our afternoon classes that are free between the time frame of 3 to 3:30. Mr. Pinto hosts classes on Saturday for junior school and senior school. And our teachers are well able and available and capable of assisting outside of school hours, of course, at a cost. And can I tell you that one of our 7th grade students passed with a B in religion, one passed with a C, and the other passed with 2 C's. One was in art and one was in religion. So our students can do it. This is just a broad overview of our results. And this is by no means any indication that, hey, our kids are not able and capable of doing it. They are. They just have to regroup, reload, and get ready to hit that target. We have to be intentional. Parents, we have to be intentional about our children's education. This is no laughing matter. That will require us to have to go the extra mile. That will require us to have to arrange pickups because they have classes they have to get to. That will require us to have to constantly check GradeLink and make sure that we are on top of our A game, keeping in contact with administration and teachers on the level that your child is at. It's not just one-sided. It cannot just be us. It's us partnering with you and also partnering with the child. It's a triangle, okay? We cannot do it without you, and we cannot do it without the child. You cannot do it without us, and the child cannot do it without us, okay? So please, 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 please make yourself available to check those books. Make yourself available to check in with us every so often, all right? So I would just like to point that out to you. We also had some successes in our BGCSE, but for the sake of time, I will not get into that. We have some students going into our 12th grade who have passed up to 5 BGCSEs. Of course, you will see them all around the school campus. We publicize and put out there the great work that we are doing, all right? So I just wanted to point that out to you. I don't know, can someone do me a favor and just check on Mr. Samuel, send him a message. I want to make sure that he's okay. This is not like him to not be here, but I'm going to keep on keeping on. All right, so I know that you're probably wondering, those of you that have not gotten, I'm going to stop sharing at this moment. Those of you that have not gotten your PE kits, your shirts, etc. I just would like to say that shirts are in. Please contact Ms. Knowles and Mr. Maycock. I know that they're still waiting on a few more. Please see if your child's size is there. Don't call them and say, Ms. Bettle say on the PTA meeting that shirts are here, and now you're giving me a different story. Confirm with them first for me, please, that the size needed for your child is here. All right, I know that the prefect shirts, there was some issue there, but you can still check, message him, message Ms. Knowles. Also the P kits, I don't think the P kits are in as yet. So now that I'm on P kits, please let me announce some up and coming events that we have going on the campus this Friday. Friday is kind of a dress down day, but by no means is this a fun day or a day that work will not take place. This is a regular school day, regular school time. We are just asking that students come either in their PE top or their uniform top and a jeans. And they can fancy up the footwear. They can come in the Crocs, they can come in sneakers, they can come in slippers, however they feel led, but the top must be a Mount Carmel top, okay? Those parents who don't have a shirt, a Mount Carmel shirt or a PE shirt for their child, whatever they wear during the school hour, they can come in that shirt, a jeans, and they can wear nice slippers or sneaker or Croc for Friday. That is going to be at a cost of $2. That's the catch. So we are allowing them to be a little bit more relaxed, but they are going to have to pay for the dress up, okay? Like I said, this is not a fun day. Make sure they have their books. Make sure they have the proper writing utensils that they need, their pen, their pencil, everything. This is not a fun day. They will go to class as usual. They will go to class the times that they were supposed to, and school will out the same time, okay? The same time as usual, all right? Also, on Friday, we are having our Club Fest, our annual Club Fest, where students are going to sign up for internal clubs, as well as we've invited organizations such as YEP, such as GGYA, Teachers Cadet, Nursing Cadet. I'm still waiting to hear from them. Also, we are going to have a surprise from the Ministry of Tourism. They're trying to facilitate some form of a club. So we have invited them to come and speak to the kids and see if it's something that they're interested. Listen, we are hitting the ground running. Also, our primary school students are going to be a part of this. So they're going to sign up for their little brownies and so forth and so on. So parents, we are booked and busy. So we need you to adjust your schedule to us. Normally you'll say, these children make plans and they don't even know what plans I have. Listen, we are telling you now. I am speaking on behalf of the children. We are booked and busy, okay? Some of you who have daughters who are in dance, you will see that they've already started practicing. And so we just solicit your prayers and your patience, okay? I know for the past couple of years, we've been saying nothing has been happening around the school. The school is so dry, it's so dull. Of course, we know because of COVID, we had to adhere to certain rules, but honey, we are backed and we are booked and busy and ready to hit the target, okay? So that's what's going to be happening on Friday. On Thursday, okay? On Thursday, we are going to be having our honors convocation. So if your child hit a 3-point last year, well, not last year, sorry, last term, the term before summer, we ask you to come out in all this rain, come out in all this weather with us. Let's big up our children. Let's make them feel good. Let's make them feel loved and appreciated because listen, it was rough. Virtual was rough, but we did it. We did it. And these children deserve to be celebrated that they maintained the standard. Okay, so we are starting on time. You see, tonight we started promptly at 6 p.m. So at 8:30, we will be starting. I will send more information in the WhatsApp groups so that everyone can be kept abreast as to where we're going to have it, if it's going to be at the church, if we're going to be on the school ground, we will let you know. All right, also, all 7th graders, all 7th grade parents, tomorrow night, we're going to have a little meet and greet with you, just to bring you up to speed with what's happening with our 7th graders. We know that this time is normally a very crucial time for them to transition from primary to high school. Okay, so we want to just make sure that we are all on one accord. I know I would have sent a message in the group letting you know that one or two of my teachers came to me and let me know some persons aren't turning in homework. Some persons are not keeping up with the assignments in the classroom. This is a no-no. We're not starting our year off like that. And we just want to know if you have any questions for us, and we just want to know, excuse me, bring you up to speed as to what's going on with them so that we can help them be the wonderful leaders of tomorrow. Okay. Books for the primary school are here. Mr. Samuel, if you're here, just send me a message. I'm just rolling. Books for the primary schools are here. We want to encourage you to please, if you have not paid for your books, come in tomorrow and see Mr. Maycock so that you can get your books for your child. They've already started distributing books today. Okay, they've already started distributing books today. So our teachers are going to be rolling with getting those assignments out. And I'm sorry, parents, you cannot come to me, you cannot come to Mrs. Samuel and say, how did my child get an F? The books are here. Now, if you're having any difficulties, okay, I see him. Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap this up, Mrs. Samuel, and then turn it over to you. So the books are here and there's no excuse. Also, I'm saying this for my teachers and I'm saying this for my parents. We are in the business of preparing our children to be a success, not just at Mount Carmel, not just in our national exams, but for the world at large. Parents, we have made the opportunity available for you to invest in the GLAT, the BJC, and the BGCSE booklets. These books will be utilized. Some teachers use it in the classroom for assignments to give grades. Some teachers use it in afternoon classes to help the students prepare. Don't feel as though this is going to be a waste of money. They are $26 for each, every subject. Parents, please invest in your children. We were not able to achieve those results without these necessary tools. The afternoon classes, the extra practice with the booklets, and the commitment to want to pass and to want to pass with flying colors. Okay? Please contact me if you need any more information on that. I know that Ms. Jackson has started using her books. I've encouraged other teachers to start using their books. So any student that does not have it, and let me let you know now, there is a backup because schools realize that, hey, we're seeing results with this, there's a backlog. So I can't promise you when I try to get the books today and bring it tomorrow that that's gonna happen. Get your child's book so that I can put in the order for it and we can have it at a timely matter. If the teacher gives an assignment, and we've been talking about this from September to now, every time we line the students up, we tell them you have to get your books, because when grades begin being distributed, you cannot come to me, you cannot come to Mr. Samuel, because we're telling you this now. If you have any difficulties, please contact us so that we can be aware, we can let the teacher be aware, and we can work around the situation. If we don't know, then we cannot assist, okay? So I will stop there. Mr. Samuel, before I give you the mic, I've already gone over the vision, mission statement. I've already introduced all of the new staff. I've already expressed our gratitude and thank you to our former staff. And wishing them all of the best in their endeavors. And of course, we would have said that we're not in the business of holding anyone back. If they had any opportunities, we embraced it. We pushed them, encouraged them to seek higher heights. But we still love them. They're still a part of the Cavalier family. I went over our BJC results, but because of time, I didn't get to go over the BGCSE. I also would have mentioned the 3 7th graders that did so well on the national exam. So maybe you can mention the high school, highlight some of the high schoolers such as Joshua, who would have received that certificate. I left that for you. I would have also gone over the handbook in terms of the rules and regulation, no cell phone, having the computer, having the tablet only, and also speaking to attire, speaking to the pants, the belt, the skirt, the braids, the weave, and you would have come in at the end when I was discussing uniforms and also the booklets, okay? So let me find you so that I can tag you in.
Good evening. Good
Okay.
evening. Good evening, everyone. I want to first begin by apologizing for being late. But in that apology, it would really lead me to the first item that I would like us, or I would like to bring to the floor this afternoon. Parents, we are thankful for the partnership. We are thankful that you have chosen Mount Carmel to partner with us in terms of ensuring and securing the best education possible for your child. We have them with us from 8:30 in the morning, and school ends at 3 p.m. It really can be difficult, today being one such example, when students are not picked up on time, okay? And so we really would like to implore parents to ensure that your students are picked up on time. I mean, there's no reason for us or from me or for anyone to have to remain back at the campus at 5, 6 o'clock, waiting for someone to pick up their child. And so normally what happens in cases like that, being very honest, when a child is not picked up in a timely manner, the possibility is that we can take that child to the police station and you'd meet them there. But we try to speak about these things first and foremost with the hope that we can work together. Now, there are some days that we may be late, and certainly things happen, and unforeseen circumstances do happen. In that case and in that event, please give a call to the school and let us know so that we can plan and that we can ensure, one, that your child is safe. And so I would just implore, because that is what would have happened or transpired this very evening. I had to remain on campus till minutes to 6, waiting for a parent. Okay, so I would just ask, and this has happened just day before yesterday as well. So I would just humbly ask that we be mindful of the pickup times. Kindergarten gets out at 2:45, okay? And one of the things that we are going to be doing, I'm not sure if Ms. Bethel would have alluded to this, but one of the things that we're going to be doing is we are going to be allowing both primary and high school to be in school till 3 p.m. You know, previously it was all of primary getting out at 2:45. But as the country has opened back and so on, we seek to have a bit more opportunities for these children to learn and to be in an environment of learning. Okay, so that is my first point with my apology. I want to thank Ms. Bethel for leading the proceedings thus far. And thank you for providing me with a synopsis of the items that you would have already addressed.
Oh, also, Mr. Samuel, before you go on, I did mention about PTA and the PTA possible selection this afternoon. So I had persons to send me their names if they were interested in being a part of the PTA board.
Okay, thank you for that, because my intent was to ask Ms. Knowles. So we will endeavor, the persons, the names that you've gotten, we will endeavor to ensure that at school tomorrow, and if Ms. Knowles is here and she's hearing me, we will have those forms ready. And those forms would be like the nomination forms where we actually would make it official. And it is our desire to have a very vibrant relationship with our parent body this school year. The harsh realities of COVID-19 made it extremely difficult for us over the last couple of years. And so to have extracurricular activities, to allow our students to have different events. And so this is the first year that we are going all out into these matters. And I'll speak to some of those things momentarily. So those of you who would have given your names to Ms. Bethel, probably you can have Ms. Knowles forward you the form, because I know she has it in soft copy. And we can probably get it to those parents and they can just make one trip and bring it in. Alternatively, they can just stop to the main office and collect a form and fill it out right there. We need each and every one to be involved, and we want everyone to be involved. This is a school, I firmly believe in the concept of inclusion, and certainly no idea and no suggestion should not be heard. I believe firmly that every suggestion, once delivered respectfully, should be heard and should be given due consideration. And so we would invite persons. I've spoken to several parents who have come up to me as recent as Monday, yesterday. I had a parent come up to me and say, you know, I'm skilled in this area, I'm skilled in that area, and I really would like to assist. And these are the type of things and the type of conversations that we really want to encourage. All right. And so definitely we look forward to welcoming you. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to plan. We are going to be all out in sports and these things. Now our students have started practicing and started trying out for different teams. We are completing the registration process now to get back into various sporting disciplines, track and field. Many students, Jada Moxie, Lazara Colebrook, if your parents are on here, and oh Lord, what is her name? She will say, Mr. Samuel, I told you my name. I'm new, but I told you my name. Miss Curry. Yes, Miss Curry. They call themselves the Fabulous Three, and they are eager to get into track and field. And so we certainly are going to have these opportunities for our students to participate in these events. And so we would just want and solicit your support, parents, with that. With that, okay. Miss Bethel, we seem to have some interference. I don't know. Can you? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So that is that aspect of it. Ms. Bethel would have already spoken to the uniforms, but I just want to go over it, go over one particular aspect. We want to ensure that our boys in particular are properly attired and groomed. We have seen and we have started to see instances of young men who, I had a young man come to school just yesterday with white socks on. And so, as I said to the new parents last week, I said to them, the rules of the school are there to be enforced, but I do not want us to take an approach, and I've said this to the students, where it's seen as a difficult thing. It is a matter of where we as a school prepare our students for various rules that they will meet when they go out into the world of work. And so we would just ask for your cooperation, parents, in ensuring that our students are properly attired. It is my belief that the parent handbook, if you have not yet received a copy of it, it will be circulated again soon. We circulate it every year. If you are already on GradeLink, you can go onto GradeLink, and it is there in digital format for you to access right away. And so we would certainly invite and welcome you to do so and to do that. This is a year that we are excited about. We're excited about the possibilities. In our last year, we had several students who represented the school well academically. As Bethel would have alluded to, the students in grade 7 who for the first time would have sat and passed BJC subjects. And we would have had students like Joshua Curry. Joshua in grade 11. I want to mention him especially. Joshua Curry, he's now our head boy. In grade 11, he would have secured for himself 5 A's and 2 B's at BJC. And Joshua now goes into grade 12 with already having 5 subjects. Now, I don't want to just highlight Joshua. And what I will invite you to do is this, because I gave approval for this today. As we did last year, every student who has done well, who has represented and done well, and we have several of them, because we believe in excellence and our students are drilled and are taught excellence. Every student who has participated and done these exams, we are putting together a digital or a document, a poster highlighting their achievements, and in their achievements in terms of the BJC or BGCSE. And we did the final draft of those today, and those will be printed and they will be placed at strategic areas around the school. And we certainly will celebrate them, because we are proud of each and every one of them. So I mentioned Joshua, he goes into grade 12, already having secured 5 BGCSE subject passes. And this is the spirit of excellence that we we preach and that we want to be a part of the ethos, a part of the general DNA of the school, telling our students that they can achieve and they can do it. There's one student that I will particularly mention as well, and that is I think I saw his mother in here earlier. She should still be here. I would especially like to mention Benjamin Roberts, who would have also sat and passed. I think it's one or two of his subjects as well. And I am very proud of the progress that he continues to make as a student. And we are proud of every single student at Mount Carmel Preparatory. One of the things I sound like a broken record a lot. One of the things that I say to our students and to our staff all the time is that, in the immortal words of our school song, the best school in the Bahamas is the good old Mount Carmel Blue. And what I'm saying by that is simply this: I would stack any Mount Carmel student academically, intellectually, against any school in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have taken our time and we have put together a cadre of, 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 of teachers and of professionals who are among the best of the best at what they do. And we are proud of each and every one of them. As Ms. Bethel would have alluded to, as institutions do every year, some persons move on after being a part of your journey, others don't. And so the persons who have moved on, we've wished them well, and we thank them for their contributions. And we have welcomed on staff several persons, young, fresh, full of ideas, ready to work to ensure that our students receive the best help and the best guidance as they seek to achieve their goals academically. All right. So that is the students. Ms. Bethel, did you touch on the dress up? Well, not the dress up.
I did. I
Okay.
spoke
All
to
right.
it.
Excellent. Excellent.
All
And
events
so
this week I would have spoken to.
excellent. Excellent. And so as we would have sent out the calendar of events on GradeLink through the GradeLink email. I want to say this, parents, if you have not yet received that email with the full calendar of events for the entire school year, then it would mean that we do not have an updated email contact for you, or you are not yet registered on our GradeLink. And so if that is indeed the case, parents, what I would humbly ask is that you forward the correct email to us, either to Miss Knowles or to my myself, or to Miss Bethel, and we will get it entered into GradeLink, so that you can receive all of the information that we send out. Not sure what is going on with my background here. I tried to put one of those backgrounds, but I think someone was telling me that it was appearing fuzzy. All right, hopefully it's better now. So we certainly we are thankful for the partnership. We are thankful for everything that you have done in terms of choosing Mount Carmel. And what we would like to say now is, let us work together to ensure that we are able to work hand in hand to ensure that all students, your babies, whom you've entrusted to us, have and achieve their goals, achieve their targets. And with that, and with those few interventions or few uh, pointers from me, I certainly would thank you again for partnering with our school, and say to you that our doors are always open. We believe in maintaining um, uh, contact and maintaining that closeness with our parent body. We believe that there is a tripod or tripart system here where the parent is involved, the school, and the student. And so I would just say to you, parents, thank you again for partnering with us and partnering with our school. And thank you for entrusting the education of your child to us. And with those words, if there are any questions, I would encourage you to either include them in the chat, and we will seek to get to them. Can I ask, please?
Mr. Samuel, you can, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
And also, sir, I just want to have you speak to parents about the on-campus policy, what is expected of them in the mornings, in the afternoons, speak to that back gate by the kindergarten area, bringing lunch on campus for their child, things like that, please, and them not being allowed on campus. We're still in a COVID environment, so I just need you to touch on that for me, please.
Not a problem, thank you. All right. Well, I will say this as it relates to the lunch. Any parent at any time can bring their food or bring any lunch to their child specifically. It is just a process. When you do that, what you would do is you would bring it to the office, and the office will make contact with the child to come to collect at the office. We, as I was saying before, we value very much the partnership between parents, school, and the child. And what I mean by that is, if at any time you require or you would like to have a meeting with myself, the vice principal, or any teacher, certainly make contact with my office, speak to Ms. Knowles, and we will set up an appointment and get that on the books, and we will organize this meeting. As Ms. Bethel would have rightly alluded to, it's still a COVID environment. And while we have taken a lot of steps to ensure that the school is secure and safe, we would ask that you do your part. And so we do not allow anyone to just be roaming the corridors, obviously for the safety and security of your child as well. We do not allow that. So the policy or process is, if as a parent, obviously, you have full and unfettered access to your child at any time. The process is, when you come to the school, if you need to see your child for any reason, you come to the office, and we will certainly right away get your child and bring them to the office to see you. I'm not sure if Ms. Bethel would have spoken to the cell phones. Cell phones, and as we look at these, the manual, cell phones, it's a no-no on campus. And students are not allowed to have cell phones on campus. This is a rule that is enshrined in the rules of the school. And I can already hear someone saying, well, my child must be able to contact me at any time. And you're absolutely right. Because the school has a no cell phone policy, what the school does and what the school has in place, at any time, any child, any student can come to the office and say, sir, miss, I would like to call my mom, I would like to call my dad, and without question, that child will be allowed to contact you, to use the school's phone, either the school cell phone or the school's landline, to contact the parent, because we certainly would facilitate that without any issues whatsoever. Cell phones are a very important tool, but we have seen that they have become, unfortunately, with every important advancement mankind has made, there's always some persons, or there are always ways for it to be used in a negative way. And we don't want our kids to be distracted on campus. And so cell phones are not allowed on campus. And so at any time, as I said, you can certainly come and meet us to see your child, and that will be facilitated immediately. Or if your child needs to call you for anything, no one will discourage that child from making contact at all, okay? Once a child says, I would like to speak to my parent, please, that is facilitated immediately without delay. All right, and so we've put these things in place to ensure that students have access every hour that they're at school to their parents, okay? And so I would just want to say that. Ms. Bethel, there was another point you were telling me to speak to? Or did I touch them all? Any other question in the chat?
Or I was talking that whole time. I was saying, did you speak on the back gate by kindergarten and letting parents know that they come around to collect, well, to drop off and to collect from a certain area?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, so again, as part of the whole part of security, because at the end of the day, we take measures, as I said, of security very seriously on campus. And so what we would do, and the process for drop-offs in the morning, I may as well start from there. When you come in the morning, the only gate that is used for drop-off is the main gate. You drive through the main gate, you will see a circle or semicircle of cones. You drive around to the front there. The security officer would give some directions as to where you can stop. And if you are just dropping off your child, they then hop out and you continue along to allow the next parent to come up. If for some reason you would need to speak to your child or provide some last minute words of encouragement or something of that nature, then we would simply ask that you continue around the cones and just proceed to the side in the parking area and do so unhindered and unencumbered. Speak to your child, last words of encouragement, whatever it is, check them, make sure they're ready for school, and then they would come to us. Similarly, in the afternoons, what we have instituted is that once it rains, we certainly would have a different plan as it relates to where the students congregate. In the case of today, you'd note that it rained quite a bit. It rained extensively on campus. And in that case, we would not ask the students to walk out to the gate, obviously in the rain. And so we would allow the students to come in, or the parents to come in to collect their students or your child. What we have done, and just to prepare everyone for, is something we instituted since last year or the year before. But what we have done is we have, on afternoons, we limit, and when you see the security officer would limit the entry of persons on compound at 3 o'clock on afternoons for pickup. Please note that they are doing so at my instruction and at my behest. And the reasoning is very simple. As I said, the safety and security of your child is of the utmost importance to me as principal and to us as a school, okay? And so with these young children walking across the courtyard area, the drive, the parking lot area to meet their parents, we cannot have the vehicles coming in, because God forbid, we would not want there to be any accident of any kind. And so on afternoons, the process, especially when it's dry out, the process for pickup is simply this. You drive up to the gate in the same semicircle area by the roundabout area. And the bigger students, primary upwards, would come out to you. They would congregate in a fenced and safe area. That area to the right, if you're facing out of the compound, they would congregate there. They would be at the benches. Teachers would be there. I would be there sometimes, or Vice Principal Bethel. And so once you come and the child sees your car, they would then come out safely and come to you. In the terms of the kindergarten, what we had done prior to COVID, or because of COVID, we had limited the use of the back gate. And so we will, to a certain extent now, change that. What we're doing is we're going to allow you to pick up uh, uh, well, the pickup area, Ms. Bethel, I believe we said what? We're still going to do it to the front as well? Are we bringing them up?
Yes, they came
Right,
out
right,
today.
yeah.
So
Right. Okay, good. So the intent as well would be for them to come to that secure area that I would have mentioned about as well. And of course, the teachers would be with them there, and you would drive up in the same way, and you can certainly walk to them, or the teacher can certainly direct them to you when you come up. We are not going to be using that back gate for the purpose of pick up or drop off. And this is for many reasons. There's not a security officer stationed at that gate, all right? And we need to ensure that your child is safe every single moment they are on campus. And so for that reason, we would have asked or requested, or we are requesting rather, that you pick up and drop off from the main school gate area. And I think I would have covered anything. Ms. Bethel, did you get any questions? I don't see any from my end. It seems to me that we were clear on everything. I will simply end by saying this, parents, our doors and my door is always open. And if you have a query or a question, I'm not sure if Vice Principal Bethel did this before, but my WhatsApp number is 4561020. You can feel free to send me a text at any time, a text, and I will certainly get to it as soon as I can. Obviously, depending on the time you send it, I may not necessarily get to it right away. But I promise you, once a text comes in or a WhatsApp message comes in, I will certainly, as soon as it's humanly possible for me to do so, I will respond to you. Mr. Maycock, the financial administrator, if you have any questions or queries relating to school fees, it would be remiss of me if I did not touch on that. Very briefly, parents, just please be reminded that for the persons who pay, there are two modes of payment for school fees, or two plans. You can pay either by the term or you can pay monthly. If you pay by the term, then it is expected that your school fee payments will be in by September 1, by December 1, and by March 1. Okay? Those are the times that school fee payments for term payers must be in. If you have applied for, and if you're on a monthly payment plan, okay, then your payments must be into the school by the 1st of every month. What we have done and what we do is we also give a 5-day or 4-day grace period up to the 5th of the month. But after the 5th of the month, the account then goes into arrears and you attract late penalties and late fees. All right. And so I would encourage you, parents, to remain current with your commitment to the school, as we are in kind committed to your child 150%. Where the fees are concerned, we'd ask that you please ensure that you do your very best to remain current as often as or as much as possible with those fees. If for any reason there's any unforeseen circumstance which has arisen, then by all means, I would encourage you to either send me a message or give me a call. I would have included or stated my number before. And I will ask Vice Principal Bethel to include our cell numbers in the chat, please, so that the parents can have. And we will also send these things out in the information that will come, the newsletters and so on. We'll send out our contact details. But one more time, my cell phone is 4561020. Mr. Maycock's is 4561022. Okay. And Vice Principal Bethel's number is 448-8000. Okay.
I
And
sent them,
so,
sorry, Mr. Samuel, I sent them in the chat also.
yes, thank you very much. And so we remain and we want to keep the doors of communication open. We have an exceptional system in GradeLink, which allows you to track student progress, track when they have not turned in an assignment, and all of those things. But to add or to bolster that, please feel free to contact us with any queries or concerns or questions that you may have, or any suggestions. Okay, our doors, my door personally is always open where that is concerned. And with those few words, I certainly would want to thank, as I said, each and every one of you for partnering with us as a school. We look forward to exciting things in this school year. I expect, it is my expectation that our students will do very well. And it is my expectation that they will do very well in this school year. They are fired up and they have already started with a bang. I spoke to the three young ladies I mentioned this morning and earlier, who came to me at lunchtime while I was on the corridors monitoring. You know, we were discussing and they're telling me, you know, well, this is what they want to do. This is what they would like to see at school. This one said, I would like to get into track. And so our students are excited about the school year and they are making suggestions. And so we would just ask that you encourage them as much as you can at home. It starts at home and we continue, take the ball when you bring it to us. When you pass the baton to us each day, we take it and we run with it. But I would ask at home that you encourage them. I would ask, please, that you hear them out, give them a listening ear. All right. And certainly, you know, if we are invested in that way collectively, with our support and with God's help, I am certain and I'm sure that they will do well. And certainly, I want to thank you, as I said, once again, for entrusting us with your child and entrusting us with the education or the sacred responsibility of educating your child. And with those words, if we have no other questions, I will just say thank you.
Okay, just I've been answering some questions, Mr. Samuel. I would just like to have you speak to the holes at the main gate. A lot of parents are asking, is that going to be repaired? Can you speak to that, please?
Okay, all right. I think I would have addressed this this week as well with another parent. Our property and where we're at, this is it is something, how do I put this? We've looked at it. We've certainly looked at it. When remedial work would have to be done on the campus, it is something that we would have to include the proprietors in. And so that is a discussion that we are having with them. One of the things that came about when we engaged someone and had a discussion about the holes is that we are in the rainy season. And I know that both new parents and parents who are returning to us, you would know that when it rains excessively on campus, it floods. And so one of the general advice or consensus that we received would have been for us to delay the paving of that at least until it has subsided a bit in terms of the excessive rain. And so what I would say is that it is something that we are aware of, and it's something that will receive the attention, I'm sure, of the proprietors and of course of the school. But I would just ask for your patience a bit more with it, because we would not want that we go and expend valuable resources to get it done. And then before it sets properly, it is just dug up again because of lots of flooding or rain. So just bear with us a bit, and certainly it's something that we continue to monitor, and it's something that I will continue to agitate for us to get sorted out once the rains have subsided a bit. Just one thing I want to state. I've received some messages from parents requiring or asking, does the warning that was put out, or the warning that was put out through all media services, does that include us here in Nassau? No, that's the short answer to it thus far. The minister has spoken, it has been on ZNS. Our News has posted something, and every outlet that has posted, it has said that the No School Tomorrow is for the Northern Bahamian Islands, to include Grand Bahama, Bimini, and the Keys. So there is nothing as of yet coming through the media, through official channels to the school from the ministry, indicating that that will extend to New Providence. What we will do is certainly we will keep the lines of communication with the ministry open. They have ways to get in touch with us at a moment's notice at any time, day or night. And so once any information comes in, or if any change is registered, and the powers that be would deem it fit for there to be any changes to the schedule nationwide, school-wise. Once we receive that information, we will use all our outlets, Facebook, the grade link and blast emails, groups in terms of the WhatsApp groups to get that information out to you. All right. So thank you very much.
Okay,
Ms.
Mr.
Bethel,
Well,
any
I
more
have-
questions?
Yes. Okay, is there any consideration for possible jumpers for the little ones in primary school?
Okay. Not at this time. The school rules for when you say little ones, when you say jumpers, they're referring to the right. Okay, thank you for that. Not at this time. The uniform for kindergarten and young primary, it's enshrined in our school book. It is a skirt. A skirt basically is that tennis type skirt that you wear with the flap on the front, and it's like a pants. And so the babies would wear that in terms of the girls, and the shirts. We do have the school shirts. I think we've received them in the extra or the youth small, the extra small, and so on. So we do have them now available. Parents, if you have not yet paid for your shirts for your kids, please do so. Those of you who have already paid for the shirts, in terms of these uniform shirts, you can certainly pick those up at the office. They are now available. The company that, the Bahamian company that is contracted to provide our uniforms, what they did, working, and we must say hats off to them through lots of logistic issues in terms of availability of the right shirt and all of that, shipping issues. They certainly did their level best and got the shirts to us. And so what they had said to us was that they were focusing on getting our uniform shirts done. They have done that. And now that the entire order for the uniform shirts, with the exception of a few single pieces of the prefect shirts, are complete, they are going to be focusing on getting the PE kits done and the PE uniforms done. And so I would encourage you, please, if you have not yet done so, put in your order for the PE kits so that we can be sure in how many we order. We would not want to order and then we do not have enough for you, or so please ensure that you do that. In terms of Becca, I'm happy to say and report, I think Vice Principal Bethel might have touched on this already, but we do have and we have received our Becca books. The inventory process was exhaustive. It took about 2 days, but that process was completed yesterday. And we started distributing books to the students today. That process started, is being overseen, or it's been supervised by the accounts department. And so once you've already paid for books, certainly your child would have started to receive their books today, all of their books. There are a few items I'm advised that are on back order, but they've advised us that we'll get those very soon. And I am advised that those few items actually is just one single book, and it's limited, I believe, to K4. All right, just one book. All of the other books we have, and they are here. If you have not yet paid for your child's books, please let me add my voice to the voice of the vice principal earlier. We want to ensure that our students are prepared when they enter that classroom. Please, parents. As I said, the teachers are excited. We are excited. We see tremendous possibility and tremendous promise in this new school year. It is incumbent on you to ensure that our students are adequately prepared as they enter the classroom to learn. All right, so the books are there. Please visit Mr. Maycock in accounts to pay for the books. And that would be the Abeka books for all of primary. That would be from K3 to grade 6. Okay, do so that as soon as you have done so, the books will be delivered immediately to your child's class, and so that they can have their books, they can follow, they can participate, and they cannot be left behind. Okay, and so I would ask you to please ensure you can do so as early as tomorrow. Come to the office and pay for the books so that they can be delivered to your child, and we can hit the ground running, doing some serious work in terms of getting our students educated and getting them on their journey successfully. And with those 2 words, I would say thank you again. Ms. Bethel, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, one last question. Is there any other option, I guess, for parents who get paid at the end of the month, for who pays monthly payments for school fee?
Okay, please expand on that. Any other option in terms
Okay,
of?
the question says, in regards to parents who pay monthly, is there an option for persons who are paid at the end of the month? I don't know. I guess they're saying, after the date, but then you said the first. So just speak to that again and provide clarification.
So generally, and to answer thank the parent for the question. I want to thank the parent for the question. Generally, we, in our considerations as it relates to the date for payment, we would have taken into account the fact that most persons who are monthly paid would get paid by about the 28th or so of the month. So the deadline is the 1st. But in addition to that, we have also given an extra 5 days or so grace period. In other words, from the 1st to the 5th of the month, where you have to ensure that monthly payment is in before any fees or any late charges are attached to your account. As I said, very, very important. There are times when things sometimes things do not go how we expected them to. And so the mere consideration is simply this: within reason, and I stress within reason, we certainly are open to having a discussion. If you need an extra day, if something has come up, my point is simply this: do not just leave it unattended and stay away. I really do not want, the students have exhibited so much excitement and so much joy at being back at school and being able to undertake a lot of the activities that we had to suspend due to COVID. I do not want to dampen the spirit of any child by having to say that, tell a parent, okay, you need to come for your child. That is always a last resort for me. And so let us just not get to that. I mean, we are adults, and certainly all I'm saying is that if there is a difficulty where a day or 2 is needed, a conversation is all that is needed, and we will work with you. All right, but please let us have that conversation. And if you are able to ensure that your bills are paid by the 5th of every month, at the latest. It's due on the 1st, but by the 5th of every month. This ensures that we as a school are able to meet our own obligations and continue to deliver the excellent service and the excellent education package that we are doing where your son or daughter is concerned. All right. Any other questions?
This is the final thing. I did not get a chance to highlight my two super women. This year, we have two new team leads. One is Miss Jackson from high school and Miss Johnson from primary school. Come on, let's give them some hearts. Let's give them some thumbs up. Those of you that know them, this year they are working closely with Mr. Samuel and I to send our school to the next level. Remember, we are regrouping, we are reloading, and we are hitting the target intentionally. All right. So Ms. Jackson just wants me to give a little update. Textbooks, students to get their math books and the BJC and BGCSE past paper booklets, and to bring their calculators, scientific calculators, for class. All right. So without further ado, Mr. Samuel, we've come to the end of our PTA meeting. Shy 5 minutes over our targeted time, but nonetheless, we've come to the end of it. So you can close us out, sir. You there, Mr. Samuel?
I'm just reading a concern. Someone, is there any question that we did not yet answer that was placed in the chat?
I think I got everything.
Okay, I have a question that was forwarded to me via WhatsApp. Someone is asking why not all teachers are sending the grades on Grade Link. Okay.
I don't think I got that one.
Okay. All right. Let me address that. Let me address that, please. First, let me apologize to the parent. That question, I'm sorry if we missed it. What does happen is that when you ask questions in the chat, it comes in a it comes as text, one after the other, and so I apologize for missing that. With reference to Grade Link and grades, just so you are aware, every new school year, what happens is that there's a technical process which does take a few days into the new term where the new term or the new year has to be set up. Okay. And so it's not just about, well, my child was in grade 7 last year, they're in grade 8 now, and boom, everything is just automatic and done. Okay. And so as new staff come in, they would have to receive login credentials. New parents come in, they would have to receive login credentials and be trained on that. Okay. And so I would humbly ask, the parents' question is that they have not seen a grade for this year yet. I'm guessing that is what they are saying. I would humbly ask, sir, that you please bear with us. And certainly our teachers have now, for the most part, received their login credentials. They are populating GradeLink. I think GradeLink was already populated. Okay. And so certainly, sorry about that. I was reading another question from a parent. And so certainly we would ask that you bear with us in that regard. And you will see all of the grades coming in. It is expected with any school and any school year that first 2 weeks, thereabout, 2 to 3 weeks, as you ensure that everything gets right, because you're inputting new students and all of that. So we just ask that you give us this time. I think pretty much it should start regularizing soon. All right. In terms, someone had a question about the back gate. We've been very clear on this. There is only one gate for pickup, and that is the main gate. This is a security issue, and it is not something that we will change on. The simple fact and simple reason is this: if anything happens to any child on this campus, and it is as a result of that child not being properly attended to and properly supervised, as a parent, I will come up to that school for blood. I will not come to hear any sad song or anything that you have to say. And so based on that, I would just humbly ask that, yes, I really don't see any inconvenience to it. The main gate of the school is the main gate. You drive up and you certainly just park and your child is right there waiting. And we certainly, for now, will do it that way, as we ensure that we keep our students safe. The safety of your students is of the utmost priority to me, all right, and to our school. And we will do everything in our power to ensure that our students are kept safe, all right? Ms. Bethel, thank you.
Mr. Samuel, just I want to acknowledge something. We missed Miss Deshanique Bull. We did not highlight her. And I just want to take a moment. I think it was 5 B's, 1 A, and a D that she got in the national exam. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Congratulations, Dejanique.
Yes.
We're very proud of her.
Very, very proud of her. How can I forget my girl? Okay, I'm so sorry for that, Mom and Dad. Please charge it to my head, not my heart. It's not intentional. Also, Mrs. Samuel, can you speak to, so a parent asked, why was there not a deputy chosen for primary school? That's one question that's here, and once you answer that, I have 1 or 2 more that I need to ask you.
Okay. There was nothing really nefarious about it. The intent, when we looked at the, first of all, when we looked at the positions for this school year, we thought it best for this year to have a head boy and a head girl for primary, and the prefects. You will recall that last year, there was no head boy or head girl for primary, okay? And that was, of course, due to COVID and due to the harsh realities of that, okay? But we did have a head boy and head girl for the entire school or high school, all right? And so it really wasn't anything negative in terms of why we chose not to have it. You know, we are easing back into a lot of things. And certainly as we work together to get everything right, I refer back to what I said before. We are open to suggestions, and certainly suggestions, once they are made, I can give you every assurance that they will be considered fully, all right? In terms of deputy head boy or deputy head girl for primary, I can tell you first and foremost, is the second that we are clear on the need for that, we will institute it right away, and get it done. I am extremely proud of the students that have been chosen to serve as student leaders, both at high school and primary level. Congratulations to Herwin Mineles, who's the primary head boy, and congratulations to Sunset Knowles, who's the primary head girl. I want to also say congratulations to Brianna Saunders, who is the head girl for high school, and Joshua Curry, the head boy for high school. I would also want to congratulate and appreciate Fletcher Minelis, who is the deputy head boy for high school, and Kashante Sands, who is the deputy head girl for high school. And of course, all of the prefects and student leaders that we have for this academic year. They are an amazing bunch of young people, and I could not be any prouder of each and every one of them. And we believe every student that has been chosen, we have a firm belief in, and we have seen elements of leadership skills in them. And our desire with these positions is really not just for paper, but to literally mold them, to literally provide them with that experience, to give them training to ensure that they evolve into real leaders. As you know, our school's motto is preparing tomorrow's leaders today. And so we are proud of every single student leader of the school.
Okay, Mr. Samuel, so that is everyone. I think we've covered everything. Parents, we will be sending a timetable around for classes that starts in October. Be reminded of our honors convocation on Thursday. Also, Friday, it's a uniform shirt. That's the PE shirt or the regular shirt with the jeans and any shoe. They can come with any shoe at a cost of $2. And that is it for me. Please, parents who are interested in the PTA, please give me a name. So far, I only have 4 persons. So please don't forget to send me those names so that we can get in contact with you. And I think that is it, Mr. Samuel.
So Miss Bethel, just one more thing. Please, you know, we really would want this year the same energy that we have seen in our students, in our staff, and we have as a school, the same excitement that we have. We really want to see it in our parents, and we want to ask that you please partner with us on the PTA. As I said, many parents have many different skill sets, and we really want to ensure that you form a part of our team, form a part of ensuring that this school year is really great for our students. We would really appreciate your assistance in that regard, and we really look forward to working with you in this regard. Finally, just something Ms. Bethel just mentioned, I look forward to seeing the many different designs of the shoes that the students will come up with. We have some pretty amazing young people. I heard some of them from the art class already talking about ways that they could design their Crocs, and some of them talking about all of these little personality. I don't know how they call them, you have to forgive me, but I am aware of the Pandora bracelet where you can have the different links for your personality. In the same way, I'm made to understand that you can, you have the different pins on your Crocs, which will dictate your personality. Some of them were speaking to that. I'm speaking to excitement about this first event. And so please encourage them to participate. And certainly we look forward to an exciting year with our students and with you, our parents, and God in our midst.
Okay, so I'll reiterate this one more time. If you are a new parent and your child does not have a school shirt and or a PE shirt as yet, the same shirt that they are wearing every day, they can come in that shirt. That's the plain college shirt. Okay, they're not to just come in a regular t-shirt. It's the same uniformed look. Only thing that's changing is the bottom and the shoe. Okay, so that's some clarification for parents. So parents, we've come to the end of our PTA meeting. I thank each and every one of you for being here. And Mr. Samuel, do you have any closing remarks or you're good? Okay, you've muted again. Hold on. Okay.
I think we already summed it up, but just to simply thank parents for choosing Mount Carmel Preparatory Academy and for partnering with us. And to simply say that we look forward to an amazing year. And I think if we are able to work together in this regard, we will have a truly awesome year, and our students will be truly happy and truly excited about everything that we're going to do for them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we really look forward to working with each and every one of you to make this year great.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.